How's it, guys? Welcome to my channel. I just want to first thank everyone for subscribing and reaching 20,000 views as of last year. Oh, by the way, I want to wish everyone a happy new year if you're watching this in January. Well, for this time's review, we're going to review the Samsung A5 2017. And this is my current phone. And I have a lot of things to say about this phone. And if you guys ever consider about buying a Samsung A5 or just looking for a budget phone, this is a phone to consider. Now first, before I talk about this phone in depth, I'm going to talk about the Samsung A series. And basically, the A5 is part of 3 models that Samsung has released in the last year in 2017. Now they come in either the A3, a smaller version, an A5, which I have now, and A7, the bigger version of this phone. So I'm going to put the size and capacity comparisons between those three models in the description below. You guys feel free to look through them if you're interested in something smaller or something larger than this A5, which is 5.2 inches. So let's go ahead with the review. First things first, something to keep in mind when you shop for a phone, specs and what looks good on paper does not equate a better phone. Just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean that it'll perform as well when you have it. That's something I've learned after buying this phone. Well, so why did I get this phone? I wanted to upgrade my other Samsung, because I really wanted an IP68 water and dust resistant phone, and also want something that has a good battery and a well-rounded camera that altogether won't break the bank. And I found this phone on Amazon for about 300 bucks, so I thought it was a really great deal, and the reviews for it were not that bad. It was pretty good. So first, I'm gonna show you guys the box of the specs real quick. I know I wrote it down in the description below, but here it is again if you want to see what it has. So it's IP68 water resistant. That's what I love about it, and I'm going to show you in a few seconds that it actually is water resistant, not waterproof. So it's 16 megapixels both front and rear. It has a fingerprint scanner. It has 4G LTE. Oh, and of course, I have to remind you guys that this is a GSM phone, meaning it will only work for GSM providers. So if you're in the United States, AT&T and T-Mobile, you should be fine. But if you're in Sprint or Verizon, then you can't. I'm not sure if this phone will work for your network. So there was the box, and now back to the phone, and I'll just give you guys the look around of this phone. Good. It has a AUX jack for some people who are really who appreciate that. It's there for your headphones. And then yeah, it's a nice color. The color I have now is the blue mist one, and they come in different colors. I'll put that in the description. I think they also come in gold, white, black, and I think even a rose gold color too. So for you those who like pink, or you know, the ladies out there, you can also get that color for this phone. Okay, and so what I like about it, let's cut to the chase, is that it's water resistance, and for this price, it's not bad. I mean, in 2017, it's hard to come by phones that were, you know, dust and water resistance. And for this price, for about 300 bucks, it's the real deal. Samsung gives you that. You don't have to buy an S8 or an S7 to get a water resistant phone. And what was also great about this phone, in my experience, was that I had no problems watching like 20 minutes worth of videos on YouTube for about 1 to 2% of battery consumption. So it has an excellent battery, about 3,000 milliamps. It's pretty small compared to what we have now, but this phone is really good on battery. I don't have to charge it for about 2 days, and even then it was only like 30%, not anything lower than 10%. You know, And another great thing about this phone is the design. It's basically an S7, a Samsung Galaxy S7 clone. And it's made out of glass. As you can see, it's also a fingerprint magnet because of the glass. The S7S and S8 are probably similar in that aspect. And oh yes, another thing worth pointing out is the speaker. The speaker is on the side. It's kind of an awkward and unconventional placement, but surprisingly it works. If you're playing video games, it's nice to know it doesn't get covered up. Like some speakers are on this side right here, over here, right? And that's what's great about it. And I would have to admit though, putting the speakers here, you are kind of limited, because some people, they like to, when they watch videos, they like to have their speakers like over here, and so it bounces on the palms and you can hear it better. That's my only pet peeve about that speaker placement. But other than that, this phone also is very durable, and yeah, I dropped it a few times and it holds pretty well, mainly because of my case, and I'll show you guys my case in a minute. Okay, so now what I don't like about this phone. First of all, the camera focus speed. Like, I had an experience during my friend's graduation, and then you know how we were all taking pictures. A colleague of my friend commented when he used my phone to take her picture that my phone took longer to focus and load to capture the rate of pictures that he was taking simultaneously. Especially when we tried to do a jump shot. It focused really hard. I'll show you that right now. So I'll just go to my camera app. Maybe it's hard to see from this video, but it takes a little time to focus, and then when you press it, it takes about 1 second in order to refocus itself. So that's something that needs to be worked on. So yeah, it does take a couple of seconds for the camera to focus. Other than that, the picture quality is decent, nothing to praise about, but it does get the job done in a presentable manner, as shown in these examples here. Now, one important thing that may discourage you from buying this phone is the chipset. Now, I'm not about benchmarks or the numbers, so I'll probably send you links where you can see the numbers for this phone. But overall, from my experience, personal experience, this chipset, which is a Exynos in-house chipset made by Samsung, it doesn't cut it for a fast, zippy, or smooth performance. From what I've seen, from what I've done with this phone so far. I mean, compared to a Snapdragon processor, I would say it's significantly underused. Like it's not as powerful, and it's not good for multitasking. I can tell you that. It can multitask. Don't get me wrong. It is fast to an extent, but it doesn't give you that awesomeness of a Snapdragon processor. That's just my opinion. But other than that, the camera and the chipset are things that would discourage me from buying this phone again. Alright, and finally, my final verdict for this phone is that I recommend this phone for people who don't really care about their processing speed as much. Maybe they're not as heavy multitaskers as I am, or some other people are, and are you know, they just want a good Samsung Galaxy branded phone for a cheaper price. You know, if you can't afford an S7 or an S8, you know, this phone does meet the cut for that. It's basically a cheaper S7, but with some minor downgrades. Very minor, not too much, but I mean, for the price, it's not a bad deal for it. And finally, I don't recommend this phone for someone who wants a better camera phone. And other things worth mentioning for this phone is that for AT&T users, LTE is a bit limited at times. There are times where I don't get an LTE connection. It is there. This phone does have it, but I've had minor issues with that. As well, the micro SIM card sometimes not being read by the phone. A common restart can fix it though. And of course, if you're looking into purchasing a case for it, I also have this case for my phone right now. It's made by Spigen. I'll link that below too. It's a pretty good case. Keeps my phone pretty durable. And yeah, so that's it, guys. If you're looking for more specs, or you guys are looking into purchasing this phone, I've posted links below that may help you with that. And thank you for viewing this video. Remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more tech reviews and unboxings. Till next time, bye-bye. Okay, we're going to see if it's water resistant or not. Yeah, looks like it's still working.